So it's been a while. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my part of the channel. So before you say anything, I just kind of want to apologize for not uploading for 3 months. Lockdown is a pain, school was a bigger pain, but I'm finally on break now. I've been able to think, I've been able to breathe, and we're back. I hope we're all doing well. I know that a lot of places have lifted the lockdown, but they haven't here. So if you're in lockdown right now, I'm sorry, I feel your pain, and if you're not, be careful. You guys better take care of yourselves. As to what we're doing, I thought it'd be fun to make a series, kind of. A what the heck are reptiles kind of thing. Trademarked. There's a lot of things to talk about reptiles, so this might become a series. It also might not. But I think it's really fun. I think it's really interesting. So today's gonna be the introduction of the whole thing. So, you know, what are reptiles? Because we know what they are, but do we really? Yes, the answer is yes. What are reptiles? So, quoting the wonderful Wikipedia, reptiles are tetrapod animals in the class Reptilia, comprising today's turtles, crocodilians, snakes, amphibians, lizards, and their extinct relatives. The study of these traditional reptile orders, historically combined with that of modern amphibians, is called herpetology, which is actually what I really wanted to study as a kid. And by a kid, I mean less than 3 months ago. Reptiles are ectothermic, which means that they can't produce their own heat. Us humans, mammals, birds, they're all endothermic, which means we're capable of producing our own heat. We eat, we make energy from that food, and that energy goes to thinking, moving, but warming up our bodies. Reptiles don't really do that. However, and I think this is really interesting, the reticulated python of South Asia has learned to vibrate their muscles really quickly when they're incubating, so they can raise the ambient temperature 7 degrees Celsius. Today I'm going to describe the more known species, the more common species, I would like to say. So that's turtles, crocodilians, snakes, amphibians, and lizards. First of all, turtles. Turtles are reptiles of the order Testudines. Testudines have this big carapace. It could be made out of bone or made out of cartilage. That's actually what we call the shell, a turtle shell, a tortoise shell. Turtles can be sea-dwelling or they can be freshwater dwelling. Sea-dwelling would be the sea turtle, and freshwater dwelling would be something like the red-eared slider. The earliest known turtles come from the Middle Jurassic period, which happened 174 to 164 million years ago. That actually means that turtles are actually older than snakes, lizards, and crocodilians. And well, examples of turtles are the leatherback turtle, red-eared slider, yellow-bellied slider, snapping turtles, etc. Another member of the Testudinae family includes tortoises. Unlike turtles, tortoises are earth-dwelling, which means, you know, they don't swim. Tortoises' carapaces are insanely strong. They're made out of cartilage, and they're basically their entire exoskeleton, but outside. Tortoises' carapaces are very strong, and actually, tortoises are able to retract their entire neck and head inside of their shells as a means of protection. Tortoises can be very big, or they can be very small. Fun fact, my favorite tortoise is a red-footed tortoise. I think they're really cute, and I really want one. Examples of tortoises, there you've got Hermann's tortoise, you've got redfoot tortoises, and you've got Russian tortoises. Next off, we got crocodilians. Crocodilians are usually very large aquatic predators. They appeared 95 million years ago in the Cretaceous period, and they're actually the closest known relatives to birds. I'm just saying right now that I will mispronounce a lot of things. I apologize, I don't mean to. The reason is, birds and crocodiles are actually the only known survivors of the Archosaria period. Archosaria means diapsid amniotes, broadly classified as reptiles. Diapsid means that the reptile has 2 openings at the top of the skull, while amniote means that the embryo was formed inside of an amnion. As you can see, crocodilians have very large and flattened snouts. Their eyes, ears, and nostrils sit at the top of the head. That's because when they're swimming underwater, you know, they'll camouflage themselves like that. So they barely just have the top of their head peeking out, so they can breathe, listen, and see, obviously, their prey. Crocodiles have laterally compressed tails, which means that their tail looks like this. They use it as a fin to swim along. They kind of use it to propel themselves. Their skin is super thick and they don't have overlapping scales. What crocodiles have are called scutes. What I think is really interesting about crocodiles is that their teeth will actually drop. They shed their teeth almost like they shed their skin. Yes, crocodiles actually do shed their skin. In tiny pieces though, not like snakes or lizards that do it all in one go. But their teeth will fall out, and then after a bit, they will grow back again, to then fall out again and repeat the cycle. Crocodiles include saltwater crocodiles, American alligators, the Nile crocodile, but my favorite is the spectacled caiman. Third, we got snakes. I wish I had a... Oh wait, I do! Thank you, Haywan, for this snake you gave me a couple months ago. Snakes are elongated, legless, and carnivorous reptiles of the suborder Serpentes. Like all other squamates, snakes are ectothermic, which again means that they can't produce their own heat. Snakes are amniovertebrates, and most of them have overlapping scales, while others have a thing you call keel scales, kind of like what a hognose has, where their scales are sort of individually placed along the skin. A snake's skull is super interesting because it has many more joints than any lizard may have. The reason why snakes are able to swallow such huge meals is because, well, they don't really have a chin. Neither do any animal, but hear me out. Quoting Professor Patrick T. Gregory, a biology professor in the University of Victoria, the two mandibles are not joined at the front by a rigid symphysis, as ours are, but by an elastic ligament that allows them to spread apart. In other words, they don't have a bone connecting their jaws like I do, but they have a little ligament that allows their jaws to hinge and unhinge like this. That's why when they eat a meal, they unhinge their jaws, they swallow the meal completely, and then they hinge the jaws again. And they do that by a yawn. And it's the cutest thing ever. Lizards have evolved to elongate their bodies and lose their limbs through convergent evolution, which means that there are actually a bunch of lizards that don't have legs, but are still lizards and not snakes, such as the Sheltopusik. Unlike a lot of lizards, snakes don't have eyelids. They have a scale that covers their eye called the brill. It's a scale that comes off with their full body shed. And they actually don't have ear holes, but they have ears. They can't hear. It just sounds like everything they do is a little bit muffled, kind of if you want like this. Types of snakes include vipers, ball pythons, boa constrictors, rattlesnakes, etc. Again, thank you Haywan for the snake. And thank you Coseto for the alligator. I forgot to say that. Amphisbaenians are usually legless squamates that kind of look like earthworms. Squamates are snakes, lizards, and worm lizards. Yep. Amphisbaenians are characterized by elongated bodies, reduction or almost complete loss of their limbs, and rudimentary eyesight. Many species are pink and have little rings around their body, which is why they look like earthworms, but they're actually reptiles. The bipes, a type of amphisbaenian, is the only type that actually does have little arms. I'm not really sure about this, but I think it's the species of the screaming worm we've all seen, like as a meme on Reddit or 9gag or something. And lastly, my favorite, lizards. Sadly, it's 2:40 in the afternoon right now and my lizards are sleeping, and I don't want to wake them up. Lizards are a large group of squamate reptiles. Lizards can range from being very small, like 4 inches long for morning geckos, to being like 3 meters long, Komodo dragons. Yes, those are all lizards. Most lizards are quadrupedal, which means they walk on 4 legs, but many of them are actually legless. A legless lizard, again, the Sheltopusik, it has eyelids and it has ear holes, therefore it is not a snake. Lizards are mainly carnivores, but many are omnivores as well. Lizards have this cool little defense mechanism called caudal autotomy. Caudal autotomy is the dropping tail move. Basically, if a lizard feels that its life is in danger and it's their only way out, they will drop their tail so the predator has something to eat as they can just run away. Talking about tails, tails for lizards can be prehensile, semi-prehensile, or non-prehensile. Prehensile is kind of like a monkey tail. They will use their tail as a third limb, so they will hold on to branches and use it for balance. Then you've got other species, like the African fat-tailed gecko, or Egdor, the leopard gecko. They carry their fat and protein storage on their tail, which is why you really don't want them to drop their tail. I mean, you don't want any reptile to drop their tail, but cresties will sometimes do it just because. Gargoyle geckos, they're less prone to do it, but it could also happen. But actually, cresties won't grow their tails back. Gargoyles do. Except there's other species that have a non-prehensile tail, and they just use their tail for fat storage, or signaling people or other animals when they are very annoyed, such as the sassy tail wag that Igder will do sometimes. As in other reptiles, the skin of the lizard is dry and scaly with overlapping scales. They've evolved to be that way, and that actually helps them to live in very dry and hot places, so they don't lose as much water due to evaporation. That actually enables lizards to live in some of the driest places in the world. Types of lizards include gargo geckos, leopard geckos, Komodo dragons, beardies, and the most important one of all, Jesus lizard. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe stay tuned in 3 months where I'll upload another video. But it's been fun. I missed recording this. I forgot how bad I am at talking to the camera. I just ramble a lot, and even though I have a script, I don't really follow it. I hope you guys had fun, because I did. And again, thank you guys for the support. You guys are awesome. You support our Discord server, you support our videos, and it's really fun. So again, take care, drink water, and I'll see you in the next one.